action from the top. Oh no, no, he won't stop. Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Thalmor Radio.
Thalmor Radio.
Arctic said, I have
Today
become sympathetic.
It's Friday.
Oh, thank you, Greta. What a sweetheart. Arctic has said, I have become sympathetic to the Satan Syndicate sphere. I told him, with Vacade calling you guys the Satan Syndicate sphere, you need to own that name because that is a great name. And he did. And I'm very proud of him. Adam is such a good boy. Welcome to the April 16th episode of Thalmor Radio. Just imagine a couple days ahead and we could maybe have a 420 episode, but alas, that is not the case. That is not how the calendar falls. But that's okay. The 16th is still good. You know, the 16th is still good. Middle of the month. Some people, I think people in the military got their paychecks yesterday. It's a fine day still. Is someone recording? Zig is not. Soup, how about you, bud? Are you there? I need to know this is being recorded. I don't know. I don't feel like waiting for him if he isn't, which I think he probably is. But if he isn't, I'm still probably going to do it anyways. Because I feel like talking. Soup says he has it. Soup has been a great help. He's recorded for like the past month. So clap in chat for Soup because he has been so helpful. I can't find a good clap emoji, so I post. I don't know what that's from, but there you go. Clap in chat for Soup for being so helpful. Okay, first off, the first thing I want to talk about is I want to share the results of the listener survey. We got 28 responses, which is pretty good. That's like the full audience on a normal episode. But obviously you're not going to get like 100% participation. So I noticed it was stuck at 21 for a while, but then I mentioned it on the show the next time, and then it jumped up to 28. So I'm guessing what happened is that the people who listened to the recordings on YouTube, they finally went ahead and did it. So that's very great. There's a decent number of people who very reliably listen to the recordings, and that's pretty good because I've shared before that I don't really want to do a show unless it's being recorded because then I feel like I'm just talking into the wind. But people do listen to the recordings, and I really like that. It's also fun to go back and see like what people were thinking about and talking about, you know, in between certain times of the game, you know. So there you go. People liked Mommy Thalmor, and some people wanted to see Mommy Thalmor again. About half of people didn't give their names. I gave the option for people to put their names down. I believe a little under half refused. If you didn't want to put your name, the box was just nice try, FBI, and 44 people decided to stick it to the feds and not reveal their name. So that's cool. It was also a fun game trying to figure out whose responses was tied to which anonymous people. There were a couple of joke questions, one of which was this really screwed up text, and the two responses to it was either "I have the witness" or I think Tibetan language, some sentence in Tibetan language. And I think people, if I remember correctly, people would pick the Tibetan language in response to the garbled text, which was funny. And then there's a second question, which I believe was like part of like Old Norse or whatever. And I don't even remember what the responses were to that. Actually, I don't even remember, so never mind. I forgot. There were two responses to it. Yeah, and I think the two responses was either yes or maybe. And I believe more people picked maybe than yes. So that was interesting. And nobody had any particular criticism. No one had any particular desire. Overall, people were just pretty content with how the show was, and they just thought it was interesting, which is fine. You know, it seems like people just like the show because it's just something. You know, it's something I talk about news. I think I keep it kind of interesting because I'm not like super serious. Oh, my thing just unplugged. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's okay. I can plug it back in. Thank you, Jaden. I don't think I'm that funny, but I think I'm funny enough to be interesting, and being interesting is an important part to getting people to pay attention to you. Yes, David, my butt plug became unplugged, but thankfully it has been fixed. Anyways, so thank you everyone for participating in the listener survey. I will do another one later this year, probably late in the year. I think like 6 months is a good enough spacing out. That's like what, 24 episodes, 25, 26 if you include maybe a bonus episode here and there. So that's pretty decent. I have no major plans for the show coming. I like how the show is. I like the format. I like talking. I like bringing guests on here and there and talking to them a little bit. I have no major plans for the show. The only thing I'm going to be doing is that I hope in the next couple months to do a lot of extra advertising because I think there's a interest in the show, but I think there's a disconnect between people who would watch and like awareness of it. Because even though I do forum posts, even though I do pings, like I still see a lot of people say like, "Oh, I didn't even know this was a thing." So I think awareness is relevant there.
And now you actually have some real competition too, in the form of Morph Radio.
I do, and I really dig Morph Radio. I thought it was just, I'll bring on someone, from a different sphere every week, but no, it's a full panel with one like decision maker from each sphere, and that is really cool. And it's about an hour long, so it's just long enough to like be good content, but it doesn't like drag on and devolve into meaninglessness. So that is really cool. Morph is doing a great job with his show, and I'm so happy that we got some new fresh content coming. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm too lazy to get like one normal guest on each week. So you're talking like trying to get like 5 people, and they have to be from each. Oh, forget that. Like that's you might as well be asking me to like roll a rock up a hill. Like forget it. But Morph is doing a great job, so good on him. I think that's it. Time for the listener survey. I want to share a story. I love you, Zig. Zig is such a great assistant. He could tell that I had already forgot what the next topic was, so without even having to ask, he posted the itinerary. Just a great, number 2 here. He's of great help. And also, some of you may be vaguely aware that him and Arctic got into a slap fight earlier in the week. And I want to confirm that was also completely fake. Just like the April's Fool joke was like a fake falling out between me and Zig, the fight between Arctic and Zig was also fake. There's no drama. There's no infighting.
It was mostly fake.
It was mostly fake. Zig, would you like to be specific about what was real and what was fake?
The real part was that I really wanted something that I'd be able to rage quit without any consequence. And I found that in Thalmor Radio. Sometimes
but Zig,
it's nice to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, when something gets too busy, it's always good to be able to lessen your lessen the load, so to speak. But yeah, it was mostly fake. There's no big drama. There's no ongoing damage. There is more fake fighting on Thalmoria than there is in the WWE. That's how bad it is, folks. But yeah, that's that. I want to share a story I made, and I'm very proud of it. And it took me about 2 hours to write, but it's called The Descent of the Pixelhugger. And it's a bit of a read, but it's from a second-person perspective. And I'm not going to say what it's about, except it's about a man who has a bad time on the internet. And I encourage you to read. There's a fun little meme at the beginning and the end, and I think it's a good story. And yeah, people have been people have been saying that they've liked it. So go give it a read. It's a bit of a read, but I tried to make it interesting. And it's a little story, and I think some people can relate to it, so there you go. Zig says Arctic should be masked higher than me, though. Is he masked higher than you? Because he shouldn't be.
His name is above mine. I can't ban him and I can't kick him anymore. I think he may have like gotten one of your friends to log in or something and snuck in. I don't know what he did, but he was able to add an emoji, and I don't know. He was able to add an emoji that I can't even use.
So here's
I don't
what
know
happened.
how I feel about that.
He told me about a guy who was like spamming Discords, and he wanted to preemptively ban this guy, but to do that he needed to add a bot. And so I gave him permissions to, and then I realized, well, he created Awkmore like months ago. And so I decided, well, tell you what, I've already given him admin perms. Let me just strip him of admin perms and just give him Awkmore. And I'm thinking maybe he moved Awkmore above Thalmor Adorlu, because I created Awkmore to be below you. So I'm going to fix that later. I too agree that Arctic should be below you, so I will fix that here shortly.
Also, Arctic now has access to the secret staff chat that only you, me, and Shifty are supposed to see, even though we've never used it. SMH my head. Yeah, that's true. Don't worry about it.
All right. So, go read my story, because it's a good story. So, next thing is, I'm going to talk about the game now. So, there is no OPSEC in the Thalmoria staff chat, by the way. It's mostly, there's nothing interesting discussed there. It's mainly like game stuff, and when we coordinate fake fights, that's pretty much all it is. All right. So, KT has sort of we made peace with Polaris and Alpha and PV, whatever they're called. It's a white piece. We did, I think, -2 billion in we took -2 billion in damage and did like 30 billion back or something like that. I don't know. But we demolished them. That's pretty cool. And now we're raiding. Now KT has gone back to raiding, just like we did last year. We do a bunch of raiding. We're paperless. It's the same thing as it was last year. Right now, we're paperless and we're raiding a bunch. We will not merge with ARG. We have our own separate identity, so we are not going to merge with ARG. But yeah, here we are. I've had some good luck with raids. I've been doing really well. I was going to collect a bunch of nuke bounties, and then one of the people I was attacking, I was messaging with, and he was like, well, what are you even doing? You know you can't collect bounties when blockaded, right? And I was like, what? And I checked, and he was completely right. You can't collect bounties while blockaded. Stupid game design decision, but I pieced him out. I offered him peace. I was like, well, okay, there's no point in me attacking you then. So I pieced out war with him. I attacked a second guy to collect the nuke bounty. I'm going to peace out with him. He might not even peace with me, though, so I don't know. I might have to just take it to beige one way or another. But I cannot collect these nuke bounties. That's bad. I've thought about creating a thread, a game suggestion thread, and be like, that needs to change, because that's kind of ridiculous. But there you go. Just stopping blockaded. I wish. Why do all of these inactive people have 200 ships, by the way? I don't understand it. Like, you only need 10 ships. You only need 10 ships to avoid getting... Well, actually, no. If you have only 10 ships, I would raid you.
Clearly, they need more than that.
Yeah.
Most of these inactive people totally expect to be inactive. That's why they mill up so high. Like Alpha.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be the case, man. There's lots of really good raid targets who are inactive, but like they just have like 30,000 tanks, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? I need 500 ships. I blew up a lot of my own dry docks just to get cash when I was fighting whoever. I don't even remember who it was when I was fighting Oasis. I would like blow up my own dry docks to get the cash to like launch missiles and nukes. So I can't even get my max. I can't even get close to my max ships now. I even blew up some of my own hangars, which was really dumb now because I can't even get max planes anymore. Even though I have like 31 cities, I can only get the aircraft of like a 28 city guy. And to rebuild all that infra would cost like $1 billion. So I'm probably never going to have max planes or max ships for like another year or something. So Thalmor moment. Thalmor moment. I'm 555. My C's when I'm active. Well, yeah, but you're in Yar. You're like the bank guard of like the big bank. So to be honest, I can get max ships and max planes again really quick if I want. But the reality is that like I'd have to blow up like a bunch of farms. I'm running 20 farms in each city, so I'm making tons of money from food. But I would have to blow up those farms to rebuild the improvements for cheaper. It still costs like $250 million, but $250 million is not that much to get from raiding, so it's doable. I am a farmer. That is correct. I am a farmer. I am a raider. It's Schrodinger's Thalmor. I'm both a raider and a farmer. Don't raid me. I'm a bad raid target.
And a whale, according to the most recent thread.
And
according
a whale.
to that poll.
And a whale. I voted in that thread that cities don't make you a whale, and I was surprised to see most people be like, no, cities do make you a whale, you retard. And I was like, what? I disagree. So I voiced my opinion, and I said it's a mindset thing. And I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me. See, I have 31 cities, but I don't consider myself a whale because of all the fighting I do. Alpha is whales. Okay, Alpha is whales. Grumpy are not whales. Grumpy's willing to fight when the time comes. So, mind some things. Whales are just large. Pixelhugger is what you're thinking of. I don't know. I remember in Terminus S back in 2016, they were like, well, we're not whales, we're orcas. And I liked that. But anyways, that's that. So Knight Supremacy wins again. We did a bunch of damage to Alpha and Polaris. And I think we made a profit. I think Polaris had good loot. Alpha didn't have good loot. Polaris did. KT is just on top like usual. Unstoppable, unbeatable, mostly. Alright, so what's the next topic? Aurora-Golden Dawn conflict. Okay, my connection might die here because I'm going to download some screenshots that I took, and it's going to probably take a second. So let me do this here. Let's see this. There's 5 screenshots because there's been some movement in the Golden Dawn, and it's really funny. All right, so. Oh, okay, mind some. Prima Victoria did decent. Out of the 3 alliances we fought, Prima Victoria was decent. Alright. Alright, I downloaded these screenshots here. I'm going to upload them all at once. It's going to take it a second. That's the wrong one. Hold on. I want to delete it because it's the wrong order. Where even is it? Wait a minute. Did I not download the first one? Hold on, I'm having a boomer moment, ladies and gentlemen. Be patient with me. Be patient with the man. All right, here we go. Here's 1. Here's 2. I gotta find 3. Is that 3? That's 3. I gotta find 4. I think that's 4. Okay, now let me post 5, and that's 5. All right. So I posted them in order. There's 5 of them. But Aurora blitzed Golden Dawn because Golden Dawn didn't have that much protection. The coal mines protects Golden Dawn, and I think they wiped peace today. So the coal mines countered Aurora for attacking the Golden Dawn. They wiped peace today. That's ending. Aurora did like 2 billion in damage, took a couple $100 million back. So decent war. Shoot Me, who was the leader of the Golden Dawn, he had a complete meltdown. He had a meltdown, the likes of which I haven't seen since, like, Blue Bear last year got mad at me for rating him. Like, it was really bad. He's, like, spamming in all caps about complete nonsense. And I thought it was funny in the last screenshot, because we was talking about it in Ron, and Shoot Me was like, I can read Ron, you idiots. And then he said, Thalmor, I'm banning for you. And then he banned me. He killed me. I got executed in the server. Crazy. And he banned a bunch of other people too who were talking in Ron about it. And this meltdown, like, this wasn't just in a public space. This meltdown was in the public announcements room for Golden Dawn. So I don't know, it was really funny. A couple hours after that, Shoot Me made a forum thread in which he said, it's a little incoherent, but his meltdown kind of continues into his goodbye thread, and now he's just gone. So I think he went to VM for like a year. He said he was going to quit. Mindsum says I should have had a meltdown when he hit Prima Victoria. You should have, Mindsum. Which, I mean, people would have laughed at you. So I don't know if you should have. Maybe it would have been funny. But meltdowns are only funny when they're legit. If you find out a meltdown is fake, it stops being funny. So, there you go. I need to blow my nose for a minute. My nose is running. The cold weather is making my nose run.
Yeah, Golden Dawn, I couldn't stay in their server for very long because, oh my goodness, they just all seem like immature Zoomers that love pinging you every 3 seconds. We had one of their members was ghosting us because they had a treasure. We paid for them to ghost us, and he left right as soon as the nap ended, and within a day he got raided because of that war. What I didn't see ever is, did Aurora have like a CB or anything, or are they just raiding?
It was just a raid.
Because like they didn't beige the guy with the treasure, which I think is like, why would you bother white piecing like you when you can just like wait a few turns?
Well, I
don't know.
think. Oh, maybe it was the coal mines. Maybe Aurora they bended the knees to the coal mines. I think is what happened. Cause they white pieced pretty quick when the coal mines came in.
Yeah,
So
that's probably what it
that's the
was.
only explanation that makes sense to me. So that all happened, and Shoot Me's gone. I liked Shoot Me. He tried being assistant prosecutor to Arctic in the trial of Taith. He seemed fine to me, and a lot of people seem to have beef with him. Yang called him a pedophile, which is like, yikes, you know. So I don't know what's all going on with that. He seemed fine to me, though. He had this meltdown. I hope he gets to feeling better. I hope he comes back. I hope he gets over whatever was wrong. Solar Knight says Shoot has changed a lot in real life after the meltdown. Well, that's not good. I hope he's okay. He seemed fine to me. His name is so weird, though, because Shoot Me is spelled CHUTE space MI. But it sounds like you're asking someone to shoot yourself, like SHOOTME. So saying Shoot Me sounds really weird, because it feels like I'm asking someone to commit a felony on me. So it's like, But I hope Shoot Me gets to feeling better. And don't shoot me. Alright, so final thing. Now it's time to talk about something a bit serious, which I'm going to give my perspective on the wider conflict between the Syndicate and Rose. And KT is unique in a couple of different ways. And one of them being, we're the only alliance thus far that has been on both sides in recent times. So we were a part of Hedge Money. We fought alongside Rose against the Syndicate last global. Then we left Hedge Money. We allied the company in Eclipse form. Keck, we rolled with that circle. And then we've split off and been paperless. So we're the only alliance that's really been on both sides for any length of time. And I've been exposed to both arguments. I've been exposed to people that I respect from both sides with their own ideas. And I think ultimately the complaints against TSTKR, which I am not going to call Quack. Quack is a silly name. The main complaint against TSTKR is that they're too big, which makes sense to me. I said they were too big when before we were fighting them, and after and during I was fighting them in the last global. And I still think that criticism persists. And the thing that I've seen levied against the rest of the game, essentially, is that, why should they split up when the rest of the game is teaming up together is plotting against them? And even even recently with the nap ending, I've seen people already talk about how people are militarizing. I've seen people talk about how they already want to attack TSTKR, and meanwhile TSTKR are just sitting there not doing anything. It does seem as if the people who are not in TSTKR are cutting out for blood, whereas the other side are just not. They seem more, I guess I'll say peaceful, although I'm not sure that's the right way to put it. So, and Jane says they're just sitting there looking menacingly. That seems to be the thing. That seems to be the accusation. So I don't know. And I see where both sides are coming from. I understand it. And the main problem is that I don't know how you rectify that situation. I don't know what relief there is. Because I don't know. I don't know what the solution is to the problem. Both sides, I think there are two distinct sides. Both sides distrust each other. Further complicating the situation is the fact, I think there are two other things, which is that number one, I think there is some bad faith somewhere. And number two, I don't think there is fully a desire to solve the problem anyways. After all, it is just a game. After all, it is to this drama that we have a game to play for those who like politics. So I don't know what the solution is to the conflict. I guess if TSTKR broke up, they would have less of the other side would have less of a leg to stand on. But I don't know. Purple asks, what are we talking about again? We are talking about the overarching the Syndicate versus Rose conflict. I don't buy. I think that's a TSTKR argument, which is that Oasis is really big. Oasis is. The Fighting Pacifist is decent. The rest of the Immortals is decent. The rest of Oasis, not so much. And they're all like City 5 and City 10. And as time goes on and they build up the people with potential, they're going to trim down their fat. And look, who cares if you're fighting 300 dudes with 8 cities on average? That's not much of a threat to you. So I don't know. I don't think Oasis ain't that scary. I need help from the audience. Usually I know enough to say something, but I don't. Wasn't there a rumor that not Oasis, but Swamp is breaking up? Does anybody know anything about that? I can give my ideas on it if I know more about it. What's happening with Swamp? Are they breaking up? That was a rumor? Okay. I don't even remember where I read it at. I don't know if it was on Ron or what. Okay, so Swamp is not breaking up. Swamp is hitting KT. They as soon as we started going raiding, they blitzed us, which is funny. So yeah. You countered our counters. Oh, here we go again. Okay. Okay, Panky, whatever you say. I mean, I was right there. I know, Panky. Do you want to sue us in the International Criminal Court? Do you want to sue us in the Court of Thalmoria for countering your counters? I don't know what you want from us, bud. Do you want an apology? Do you want Horsecock to write you a hand apology and mail it to you in real life? As KT is now going raiding, politics matters even less to us. So Swamp can like attack us all they want, but like we're going to just do what we want anyways. So Panky says, I mean, I want you to stop complaining that we hit you because you raided us. I think, just like Oasis did, I think you're projecting your own anger onto me. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just stating that it happened. But I digress. That's fine. Whatever. Oasis is bigger than Swamp. But, like, again, it's all, like, City 5 people. So, I don't know if that really matters that much. And Oasis leadership is also smart enough to only invest in people with potential, so that number's going to get trimmed even further the higher up in cities that they go on average. So Swamp and Oasis do look together pretty big, but I think they hate each other, so I'm not sure that really matters. Would you have to say something, Zig?
No. What makes you think that? Yeah, I
thought
did.
I heard. Okay, go on.
You heard my mark click on like 6 times.
Yeah.
I had something to say way back when you were talking about what do you call it? TSTKR breakup. You were talking about how that was the thing people wanted? Question mark. And one of the interesting rebuts to that was that hedge money is too strong. And Partisan basically argues, not in these words, but essentially that because hedge essentially has upper tier hegemony right now. And if you take it to its logical conclusion, if TSTKR breaks up, Grumpy has to break up. That's kind of the vibe that I actually get from Partisan's hot takes. Not that you can really trust Partisan's hot takes half the time to make any sense, but I don't know. I thought that was an interesting hot take. That
was Partisan
kind of the same idea.
Where's Partisan saying this at?
Oh, good question. Well, it's one of 2 channels, Ron or TS Chat. TS Chat's consistently interesting, so I always stay in there. I'm
banned from TS Chat, so I don't know. I could probably
That's what keeps it good
now if I. Oh man, I can probably get unbanned if I ask now. I think other people have repaired that bridge for me, so I think that's possible. But I'm also lazy, so. Oblivion's part of Hedge now.
Yeah, Oblivion's part of HM. Yeah, they're not like official, but yeah, they are. Grumpy does not show up on the treaty web because they don't show naps. But Grumpy is definitely there. Grumpy is the cornerstone of hedge money, I would say. I shouldn't say cornerstone because cornerstone was an alliance that I was a part of.
Mm-hmm.
An important part, though. The glue.
Yeah. Oh, so final call. Anything else in politics and war I should talk about? The only other thing I can think of is that Alex fucked up spies for everyone for like 6 hours, and then slightly messed with like unit deaths. So some things kill more than others now. but I don't think it's worth talking about. I don't think any of those numbers matter. Zed said LOL paperless, and I said, does that word bring back visions of desolation and misery? And Zed says it does. So a lot of you guys weren't around for it, so I'll share a short story. Zed used to be leader of the syndicate, like sole leader, not even like the triumvirate, just sole leader. And under his rule, the syndicate went paperless for a while. And I don't remember why, but my impression at that time is that whatever goals the syndicate set out to accomplish by going paperless completely flopped. So I don't think Zed looks upon the word paperless very nicely. Oh, and Arg Blitz Concord, which is where Sean Anthony is. So that's another one of Sean Anthony's micro that's probably going to go bye-bye. We'll see how that goes. Women do not play politics and war. If you see a woman playing politics and war, it's probably a Fed. Purple Elephant is probably a Fed. So,
Adrian's a Fed?
AJ,
that makes so much sense.
Didn't she say in her interview that she worked for the government or something?
I think she does.
For the UN? She is a Fed, literally, not even a joke. Adrian actually is a Fed. Oh, man. So there you go. So, all right. Let's see. I think that's it then. Sean Anthony is getting rocked, whatever. I'm going to talk about real life politics some. And I'm going to talk about something that's funny, which is that I think the Biden administration is continuing construction on the border wall with Mexico, which is really funny because I think that, not that misery is funny, although it can be, I guess, but people voted for Joe Biden because he's the opposite of Trump, right? Like, do we all understand that idea? So the fact that Biden seems to be continuing so many of Trump's policies is probably really disheartening to people, but also, like, I don't know. It should, when presented with two options, you pick number two because you don't want number one, right? Like, would you rather that I break your arm or break your leg? Well, you're probably going to pick to break your arm, right? Don't think about it. This is a bad example. But then if I break your arm and then break your leg anyways, it's like, well, not much choice there, huh? You're probably not happy that I even gave you a choice. I broke my leg in October of 2019, Purple. It sucks. I broke the little bone, so for 2 months I had to just lay on the love seats and play video games, which is fine, because that's usually what I do anyways. But like, I had even less movement. It sucked. So it's just silly to me that Biden is continuing so many of Trump's policies, which I'm kind of okay with, because remember, I'm a Trump supporter myself. But it's like, I understand why when you vote a certain way and get a continuation of the policies you voted against, that's frustrating. Hopefully more and more people become disillusioned to the system and will refuse to participate, and maybe it will just crumble and we can start over again. That would be dope, but maybe it won't happen. We'll see. I guess anything else in real life I should cover real quick? Did anyone die or get shot or blow up that I need to talk about? I think that's it. Short episode, The King. I don't know. What's The King?
Queen's husband, whatever you call him, he died. You asked if somebody died.
Yeah,
he's famous.
Yeah, that is right. I thought I covered that on last week's show when I talked about DMX dying. Maybe I didn't, but
Was that long ago? I don't know.
Yeah, he's dead.
Also, Bernie Madoff also died.
Oh yeah, but who cares? He was like a criminal who stole lots of money. Although to be great, he stole money from other rich people though, so that's a bit different. That could be base, depending.
He's most notable for having the most apt name possible.
Yes.
He literally made off with so much money.
He only got caught because he turned himself in. So there you go. Everett says, think DC statehood is going to go to House floor next week. We'll see if that happens. I don't know. They're talking about expanding the court, but Pelosi said she wasn't even going to let that happen. So, and of course, with Biden continuing the border wall, I don't know if anything big is going to happen. I don't know if anything big is going to change. Which DC statehood would be something big, but I don't know. We'll see how it happens. The middle ground solution for DC statehood is for people in DC to get like Virginian or Maryland citizenship or something. That way they can vote. Puerto Rico says they ought to be independent or a state. Is Zed listening? Oh, hey Zed, he finally popped in. Zed, you need to come on my show sometime if you're ever free. It'd be great to have you again. It's been like 4 years. Philippines should become a state. I don't think they'd be open to that. Philippines, like, they were already like sort of part of the U.S. in the 20th century, but I don't think that went well. All right, I'm done with the show. That's it. I'll try to bring on a guest for next week. I don't like ending shows early. I like going on for an hour and a half. I don't like these 45-minute shows. But that's okay. Better to cut it off early than for it to grow too long, you know?
We can unmute someone at random.
We probably could, actually. Zed says, I'll show up at some point in the near future, perhaps. Okay, Zed, I'll hold you to that, buddy. Katie popped on, and she was around for a while. I was thinking about giving her a shout-out, but I never got around to it. Trying to think. Okay, so before I go, I want to show myself. I am for hire. I got 31 cities and 11 projects. If you want me to nuke someone, DM me and we can discuss it. It will be probably 10 million upfront, and the rest of the payment can come after I nuke the target. And if it's someone I have to build up to hit, like build up military to hit, that will cost extra, of course, because I have to like build up tanks and ships and shit. But if you got someone you want me to nuke, let me know, and I will nuke them. No one is off limits, except like other KT people, of course. But anyone else, I will nuke. I will not nuke for free. So yeah.
Do you think that would be considered a CB if I used you to nuke somebody?
It definitely could be, but I will keep my clients confidential. Don't worry. I will not betray your trust. I cannot. It has to be someone in my range. Graybird says nuke a city one. I would if I could. I will bully the city ones, but I won't because I can't. But if I could, I would. Reroll to do it. Ooh. Yeah, but I would lose like billions in shit. So
just use a multi.
I don't know about that one. Just use a multi. But then I can't funnel that money back to me.
Oh man. I gotta talk about this because this was a ridiculous thing. So,
okay.
Alex wanted us to test the new update, the latest update, on the test server because I'm part of the QA channel. We basically just do some basic tests on the test server, and I noticed I'm not getting any income, and I bring this up to Alex, and he posts this. Alex, the test server isn't distributing income. I don't know why that is. And he said, it's because some people have so much stuff that it breaks the income script. I'd need to remove all the big nations. because on the test server there are city 120 people. They have 120 cities, and like 8,000 infrastructure per city, and just like ridiculous. And it completely breaks the game. And for some reason, Alex is not willing to just delete those nations that have just completely broken the game, and instead we just can't. We can't do anything. Classic Alex.
So our resident AI Bork isn't around, so I can't ask him. But I would be very curious to know how, like, getting lots of cities breaks income for everyone else, because that is really weird. But oh well, I guess. Alex moment. Bad servers, yeah. Well, Alex has always talked about how bad the programming for the game is. Dawn of Rednecks. What a fitting name for 120 cities.
I would love to have someone. I would love to see how much money that guy makes, or is supposed to make.
Well, at 30 cities, I would make about 30 million between cash and resources. So for 120 cities, he's probably making 150 million a day. If I had to guess.
Well, keep in mind that's with 15,000 infrastructure each, not 1,500, 15,000.
Let's see. I was making that money with 2,500. So you multiply the infra by 6 or so, or yeah, about by 6, and then you. Okay, hundreds of millions. He's probably making hundreds of millions.
Yeah, per turn.
Yeah.
Easily.
And
it just completely breaks
we need to gather up the whales. We need to find a solution to the whale question, because they will get so large, they will cut off income for the rest of us.
And that's why we need to perma-roll alpha? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, we must perma-roll alpha. They must be driven from the game, so we don't have to deal with them 10 years from now. It must be done. Alright, so that's it for me. It's 9:48. A little short of a show, but that's fine. Y'all have a good time, and I will see you guys next week. So play out the theme, and let's enjoy our Friday nights.
Thalmor Radio. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Thalmor Radio. Yeah, he's coming at you from the top. Oh no, no, he won't stop. Thalmor Radio.